So the next person performing is actually somebody I consider a close friend, a brother of mine. We actually work together. We do leadership programs together. We mentor kids together. We eat food together. We talk trash together. But this will be the first time we actually shared a stage on a poetry tip. My guy is from Stockton, California. One of my closest friends, Janelle Gibson. He's about to come up here. Gonna do a spoken word track piece. I know I'm from working out and stuff because I'm not the most like workout type of person. So when he told me he could do spoken word too, I was like, bruh, what can't you do? Like, I'm really trying to figure it out. So he about to come up on the stage. All of these is hard acts to follow, but I believe the purpose of an open mic is to share your talent and not to compete with nobody. And so I'm excited. Go ahead, Janelle Gibson, my guy.
How y'all doing? Thank you, Fred, for that amazing introduction. Fred sort of pulled me back in the poetry light because I swore I was retired, but here we go. Find myself. This is more nerve wracking than actually fighting. That's crazy. I'll provide a little bit of context, just so it doesn't sound like a random blip, like in our history together. Um, I was asked to write this piece in response to the Jordan Gamma Blue release. It was like a lot of crazy stuff happening in my city when they released the shoes. Like people was getting shot, people getting beat up. I don't know if it's like that where y'all from. People be just doing the most over some Jordans. So I was asked to write something in response. This is it. It's called Inner City Soliloquy. Never have I witnessed a stampede of fiends so eager to profess their devotion to a substance pushed. By whom? By a brother, and all likes by a brother. You know more formerly as Mike. Never since the hard knock hustle of Freeway Ricky Ross had I seen fiends so persistent in the knocking down of such a lucrative American trap house door. Now, what is the cause of this hinge-breaking savagery as the US of A's media so extrapolatedly stated? Dope, they called it when the first glimpses of his black-on-black hide widened the iris. Inner city pupils plotted by any means necessary had never been so inappropriately formulated in the conscience of youthful consumers. Our implorable infatuation with their substance drives us the more closer to the obscenity that remains to be the American dream. They say, we want you to buy more. Remain careless on the evident defamation of education throughout your communities. So said Uncle Sam. Blow pettiness out of proportion. When a sway new buck on a leather canvas elevated a high in such high disparity. Generations of fatherless souls march a lifetime en route towards pigmentational clarity. Our feet suckle and swaddle like a newborn, instinctively latching to the memories of our motherland's breast. Rather voluptuous, gold, honey, and diamonds continuously run down her areola, so how could her children ever find such parallel from their newly adopted madame's naturally paler and altogether smaller tits? Quite the adoption process was that passage midway across the Atlantic, ultimately preparing us for that mental whipping our cerebrums unknowingly condemned to an industrial slaughterhouse. Last at the lash was that new slave fad, came in form as the great white eraser. Pages of history stolen from native memory banks, licks hit on our stables of self-worth. Didn't they know that our properties had long since been foreclosed? So those younglings programmed to screw up and consume America's fruity pebbles woke up digging suede, new buck, leather, and rubber. Nat Turner no longer found refuge in those headlines replaced with AR rounds. Their brains found a new home on black and white front pages. 21st century blood on the leaves cast as demons declaring war against their brethren, conjuring up a spirit of hate over playoff eights, and the pusher man still remains silent. Meanwhile, stalling tirelessly in blissful ignorance, avaricious descendants of mathematicians and Nubian pharaohs wait, shoulder by shoulder, bound by the ghastly chains of consumerism, stifling any attempt of displaying their true indigenous nature in the concrete jungle. They pray for an Ayatollah in the form of a voucher ticket. Those maladjusted to the pecking order claim their lottery like children in taxis, and they anticipate a day to return. Posted on inglorious auction blocks, simultaneously filling the crack of corporate America whips across their black backs, sounding like a starting pistol to vain shells in need of lead. That is substance are led to believe their substance rests at a finish line. I watched 15 seconds of strange fruit swinging on strange fruit. We sense remnants in Zimmerman getting off on black violence, given the Nixon pardon mass medium for depicting them as nothing more than repeat offenders of hate crimes against their light skin, dark skin, house skin, field skin, was just a tool intricately placed next to the Jumpman in antebellum. Our truth resides in a musty basement, guarded by a red elephant holding a rifle she lay stiff. Chained and padlocked to a cement floor, apprehensively awaiting her rescue, she prays that the strange fruit of her loins will discover Uncle Tom's cabin she's trapped in. She had a dream that they peel back her pages so that her truth may set us free at last. Is it? I don't know if we want to. Got some Lysol.
Wow. I don't know if the mute thing is on or off. Sometimes you can't hear, brother, but wow. I don't know if y'all could see it, but me, I could visualize kind of this experience, and it was just supposed to be just that, an experience, and it turned more into an interaction and a process and a reflection. And I'm greatly appreciative that he was able to share that and be vulnerable with us to share that. I'm thankful for that.